Hi guys, this is the first match that I played at the Maccabi challenge. In this one I'm playing Jeff Drew, who is a very good top spinner from both wings. Very good strong spinny loop. Not known for his power, but known for good heavy spin from both sides. What this is, you'll see I'm using in this particular match, is I've changed my blade back to my T-Mobile Spirit blade. On the forehand I'm using the Killer Spin Fortissimo speed glue replacement rubber, red in 2mm sponge. On the backhand is still my favourite Stiga Destroyer with no sponge. So the main difference is the blade has notched from sort of a medium blade carbon willow arrowlate defending blade to a looper's blade, a medium fast looping top spinner's blade basically. So the whole setup's a lot quicker and gives me a little bit more penetration, a little bit more speed when attacking. Doesn't seem to affect the backhand so much. And I had previously to this match used it in my pennant match a few days earlier with some success against Craig Campbell, winning against Craig Campbell. So although I was kind of nervous going into this first match of the day and wasn't too sure how I would go, I had hopes that I would perform okay. I wasn't overly worried about winning or losing. I just wanted to be competitive with Jeff, mainly because Jeff, Craig Campbell, Giovanni Napic, Colin Bowler, these are sort of the top 4 or 5 guys in our state really. So as long as I can change my style and remain competitive with these guys, I know that hopefully I can improve a little bit more as I get more used to the style and just work out exactly how to go about it for best suiting myself, and then I should be able to improve on it in the future. So let's have a look at the match from yesterday, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. This is my first time viewing it myself, so you'll just get my thoughts as I see it. So we're into the match. Jeff to serve. A couple of things to know about Jeff is, firstly, he's got usually an excellent return of serve, where he's able to flick with topspin just about any serve that's whether even it's short. Secondly, I also find with this new rubber, the faster blade and this speed glue replacement rubber, although I do like the rubber is a lot bouncier, so it's much harder for me to keep the ball short with spin at the moment. I haven't yet got around to that. So we're into the match. It's 2-3 now. We're both playing a bit nervously, just making some real uncharacteristic mistakes here. And what I'm looking to do is, as I said before, I'm really looking to try and get that forehand in and then stay close, that if it does come to my backhand I can use the long pips and occasionally twiddle. An uncharacteristic error there from Jeff. And you can see here again that forehand block when my footwork's not so good and I'm stuck in a sort of square to backhand stance is still evident. Into my forehand stance there, decent serve, and although it wasn't a great forehand by me there, this faster rubber and faster blade makes it into an adequate forehand, even though it's not anywhere near perfect. Little roll there, some twiddling, and that's what I'm hoping to do enough of, is basically get in there, change the pace, make it hard for my opponents, and get away with it. Good block, little roll, and again a little bit of twiddling, nothing outrageous, steady blocks when I'm not in position to a loop. Just try and put it into a place where he can't hit it easily. Use the long pimples up close to chop block or occasionally roll with a change of pace, and just try and mess with his timing, to mess with Jeff's timing here, and into the second game itself. So at 11-3 in that one, I was a bit surprised that it was that easy, because I did play Jeff up close to the table the week before using my old chopping bat, and he really did give me quite a hard time. So I'm happy to be up at this point. Wasn't really expecting to be up. And a bit of a lucky one there. And got away with the serve. And that's what I mean. It's very hard for me to keep the serve short with this rubber at the moment. I'm going to have to practice that. A good roll. Got into that forehand, and you can see there, I still a little upright on that forehand. I'm going to have to work on my forehand technique again, close to the table a little bit. And all even. Not a great serve. Just trying to put it so short with this rubber, I'm a bit scared to put any spin on, because as soon as I do, I miss. A good backhand there, twiddle, to get Jeff to block off the end. And there's a fairly decent forehand. You can still see I'm still jumping a little bit on that forehand up, rather than staying low and powering through, but not bad. Nice backhand blocks. And got the point there, just using nothing special on the backhand block, but just allowing it to change the pace and get some spin back to Jeff. Nice backhand loop, good setup. And this is what I found, probably you'll see it in my match against Gio a little bit more. The thing I'm having the most problem with at the moment is that I'll set up a ball, I'll set up an attack, the ball will come back and I'm not in great position to hit the second attack. I was missing a lot of my second attacks. So that's something I'm going to work on a bit more. And it's really just a matter of finding the right position, recovering in time, getting used to the extra power and spin of this bat so that I don't hit off the table. But definitely in the blocks close to the table, the extra power is evident that it goes back to my opponent a lot faster and makes his life a lot harder and puts more pressure on. Plus with my own little attacks like that, where I'm not in perfect position to make an attack, but I can make a little swing. The Spiegler replacements type rubber, the faster rubber, makes a big difference in the effectiveness. You get a lot more effectiveness from it. And of course then, the contrast between the pace of the Spiegler rubber versus the long pit rubber is highlighted as well. So now at 10-6, really I haven't done anything extravagant here in this particular match against Jeff. Jeff's given me some easy errors. I've played some decent shots, but not anything wonderful. So perhaps a little bit fortunate to be at 10-6. Nice attacks there. And this is something I'm going to have to work on, I think, a little bit more. If you have another look at that point, you can see that my basic loop is still on the second attack. I'm still using very much an upwards motion and producing a lot of topspin, but not as much power as I could be off a block ball. And that's something I'm going to work on, is that I'm going to be working a little bit more, I think, on still opening off a push ball with the heavy topspin. But once my opponent blocks it and the ball's up above the table, I don't want to be lifting the ball with a lot of topspin anymore. I want to be powering through it and taking advantage of the power of the rubber a lot more. So, we're into game 3. I'm 2-0 up, not really expecting to be 2-0 up, winning 11-3, 11-6. I'm hoping to close it out before Jeff sort of gets his act together and then starts to make life very difficult. So I'm hoping to sort of get a quick 3-0 on the board. The rolls and flicks are obviously a lot easier and more effective with this rubber as well when I'm returning serve. That was very dumb. I did that a couple of times. Went back to old habits and chopped the ball back. That was better, but I just missed the backhand. But a good setup and then into the backhand twiddle. Good block there, but Jeff picked it that time. But another good example of just what I'm trying to do with my backhand block. Nothing ambitious. Just get the ball back, try and move it around. And I got a freebie there, that was a bit lucky. So 2-4. These next few points, yeah, I've made a bit of a dud effort on that one. And was looking for a backhand attack there. Had a go at a forehand. And again, that's where I think I've got a lot of room to improve on my basic forehand. Nice backhand. And just a good roll there. And the extra kick that you get from this rubber's worked for me then. So we're at 4-6. I'm serving backhand. I'm staying in that backhand grip. I was looking for hopefully a backhand attack there, or maybe a little roll with the forehand short pips. Oh, and a good... If I could do that a lot more often, I'd be very happy, having my opponent loop a medium ball and me counter loop off the forehand for a winner. that's the kind of thing I'd love to be able to do a lot more often. Not a great return of serve there though. Nice couple of backhands. Got away with it there. Maybe should have done a bit more with the second one. Yep, and a bit of a miss hit. So the forehand, I think I can still be lower and play a better forehand technique. A nice backhand technique there, and Jeff just missed it. I snuck away with it there. And you can see, so I am still twiddling and trying to occasionally use the backhand attack. Jeff got me on that one, going the wrong way. So I'm not trying to exclusively use the long pips on the backhand. I am varying every now and again. Still rolling occasionally. Decent setup. And those are the kind of balls where I'm struggling a little bit, just following up my attack hard rather than top spinny and soft. I want to be able to hit the second ball a bit more power. And a lucky-ish chop block there, went high, but good backspin, and Jeff just dumped it in the net. Nicer block, and Jeff got me that time under pressure, and I really didn't do much with it. So we're 10-all. Yeah, I didn't do a lot wrong. I got it deep, but Jeff picked it off and got it into the corner, so just a nice shot by Jeff. Good serve. Oh, lucky block, lucky return. Another lucky one. So yeah, well that was just a pretty rubbishy point with a lot of nets. Did it again, and that's another a legacy of my chopping days, I think. Went for the forehand and didn't recover very fast, but luckily Jeff missed the table, so my recovery certainly could be better. Nice forehand, good forehand again and again, and that's a little bit more like it, though. I think I could recover even faster than that, but that's a good indication of how I want to play off that forehand side. And snuck in a backhand block that just skidded a bit and got away with it there. So just some final thoughts on this match. First thing you'll notice is that for 3 games it's over in around about 10 minutes. So firstly, a lot faster than my usual chopping games against Jeff. Secondly, I'm not having to cover anywhere near the ground. So the fact that the match is much shorter, plus the amount of running I'm doing is much less, means that my legs don't take anywhere near the pounding that they were, which means that is why I'm fairly fresh after yesterday's matches and not at all sore today. So that's going to be important for me. That's going to mean hopefully that I can extend my table tennis playing competitively for a lot longer, because I certainly wouldn't be able to keep defending with the aches and pains that I was getting. Okay, general thoughts on the match. As you can see, it was the first match of the day. We were both probably a little bit tight. There are certainly some things just on what I was doing that I could improve on. I'm not totally happy with my forehand technique. I really do have to work on getting a little bit more power. I also have to work on getting a little bit further away from the ball. You'll notice often on my forehand, there's my elbow is basically at 90 degrees with the elbow tucked in close to my side. So I'm playing the ball too close to the body, whereas a little bit more extension away from the body would give me a lot more power through the stroke. Also, the stroke is still very much on that second stroke. I'm starting too low with my bat, taking it too low, forcing me to swing up, which produces a lot of topspin, but doesn't produce the power that I'm really would be capable of. So I'm going to have to work on that a little bit. Serving, definitely going to have to work on my serving a little bit more to be able to get the ball double bouncing with this faster rubber and still a reasonable amount of spin. So plenty to work on there. On the backhand side, I'm not too fussed. The pips don't feel too bad. Pushing a little bit, they're a bit quicker on the roll. I'm going to have to work a little bit on my timing with the roll because they are a little bit faster. So I have to basically hit a bit softer actually to make that work on the backhand so that they drop on the table. But other than that, I'm reasonably happy, I think, with how that's all gone. And now just some final thoughts on how, looking at this video, you can apply some of the things to yourself. Now the first thing you'd notice is, well, okay, I've not played this up to the table style against somebody of Jeff's standard for if ever, at least for a lot of years. So I'm coming to it fairly fresh, more or less, as someone who's not done a lot of it again under pressure. So there's things I'm doing quite well, and there's things I'm doing not quite so well. But it does mean that if your techniques are fairly sound, the basics are there, the twiddling is there, and you don't try and do anything too amazing, you don't try and take extravagant chances, you can play a fairly sound game without having perfect technique. You can certainly see my forehand technique still has some room for improvement there, and I'll work away on that. My backhand is naturally fairly sound. I don't usually have a lot of problems on my backhand with the inverted, and I just need to brush up, so to speak, my looping with the pips on the backhand side. But the chop block is working quite well on the backhand. Footwork wise, yeah, I still got to get my forehand stance correct so that I don't end up blocking on the forehand when I could be counter looping if I was in better position. Now, how can this apply to you guys? Well, you can see what can be done just with simple things. I'm not doing anything really amazing here. I'm just trying to stay neutral. If it comes to the forehand, I'm playing the forehand stroke. If it comes to the backhand, I'm playing the backhand stroke. I'm not running around a lot to get to my forehand corner. Occasionally, yes, but not a lot, because I'm not all that quick. I'm just playing the backhand if it comes to my backhand side, which means that it's much easier for me to camp out in the middle of the table. I'm not trying to chicken wing over the whole table with the pips, because I want more variation than that. And that's my style, not necessarily saying that you have to change styles to play like me, but that's what's working for me, is the fact that I'm getting natural variation depending on which wing my opponent hits to. I'm twiddling occasionally to set up certain patterns, set up certain strokes, and I'll develop hopefully more patterns up to the table as I go. Certainly the forehand technique could be improved. I'm getting away with not having great serving here because I'm blocking the attacks just without trying to do anything radical and using the long pip block. And it really does mean that, as a players yourselves, you can play against other players at a reasonably high level without having to do anything too risky or take too big a chance, and you can still be very effective. So there'll be other games that I'll highlight. They're not all going to be the ones that I've won, so you'll see a couple where I haven't quite got there, but there's a lot to learn from them, probably those as well, and I'll have those coming up for you in the next couple of weeks, just to talk you through. Plus we have our State Open coming up in a week and a bit, and I might be able to get some video of that as well, depending on how I go. So more to come.